Hi everyone. What I'm going to do is show you how to create a graph in Google Sheets for the boiling point versus number of carbons in the alkane series for the first 10 hydrocarbons. And this is for that assignment. What you're going to want to do is open up your Google Drive and you're going to go to New and you're going to click on Google Sheets. And this will bring you to a new spreadsheet. What you want to keep in mind is that column A is devoted to the x-axis, the horizontal axis, and column B is for the y-axis. In this particular graphing activity, what we are doing is, I'm going to show you, I've got some of the values put in there. We're going to allow number of carbon atoms in the molecule be our x-axis, and we know that we're going to number those 1 to 10. Now, in this spreadsheet program, if you allocate titles in the first row, they will automatically show up on your graph as such. What you never want to do is you never want to actually put units beside the numerical value because that will not allow the graph to look like it should. So all the units for the axes you would include in the title. So notice that I've left out points number 9 and 10, and that is because we are trying to extrapolate that data from the graph. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to enter in those values, and then you're wanting to choose a particular graph. So is it going to be a bar graph, a line graph? So there's this icon here that says insert chart, or you can go to the insert and you can find that same icon there as well. So normally what the spreadsheet program does is it chooses one that it thinks is most appropriate. And in this case, I do want you to pick a scatter chart. And notice that automatically our axis titles pop up. Now, if they don't pop up, then you would go to customize, and where it says chart and axis titles, you can actually add in the titles there. So here's chart title, and you can even add a subtitle if you'd like, and then if you need to change the title for the horizontal axes and so forth. One thing that I'm going to ask you to do is to also put your initials in the graph as well. So mine would be GW, so that we know that this graph belongs to you. The other thing that we want to do is we do want to customize this a little bit further. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to go to grid lines, and because my face is here, I'm just going to close that off. What you're going to see is that major grid lines have been selected, but we also want to add some more minor grid lines so that we can get more accurate data. So when I click on minor grid lines, you're going to see that the graph gets a little bit more incremented, okay? So then I want to increment this a little bit further. And how do I do that? Well, right now it says the minor grid line count is 2, and so I'm going to change that to a 3, and therefore this makes this line 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10. So I feel like that spacing is a little bit more precise. And I can do that as well with my vertical axes. I can change and add some minor grid lines, and here it will tell me that this will go up by, let's say, nope, I'm going to add another one here. So this will go up by 25, 50, 75, 100. So every line is worth 25. Okay, so we also want to do a little bit more customizing, and that deals with when I click on series, I do want to add a trend line. And so in adding a trend line, this is not a linear graph, okay? So we're gonna pick a line that best matches. So exponential does not match, okay? Polynomial, this one matches. Now there's different degrees of polynomial. You can pick 3rd degree polynomial, that one does not match. So I'm gonna go back to 2nd degree polynomial, and this one seems to best match the data that I'm looking for. Okay. Another thing that you can do is if you want to change instead of circles and you want each point to be a triangle, you can do that as well, or a square. You can, customize it a little bit. If you want those points to be a little bit more bold, you can do that. And of course, there's other things that you can do where you can add data labels if you prefer. Okay, I'm just going to leave those off for now. So I'm pretty happy with the way that this graph looks. And then what you'll want to do is you'll want to click on these three dots, and where it says move to own sheet, you're going to do that, and therefore it is a little bit bigger. Now, in this activity, they want you to get data for the 9th and the 10th carbon. Okay, so if we were to use this, we would go up until it hits our trend line, and then I would go across to my y-axis, and I would estimate what that boiling point would be. And the same thing for the 10th carbon. Okay, and then what you'll do is you'll look up those values exactly, and you will calculate a percent error. Okay, so hopefully that helps in terms of how to create a spreadsheet for your first one of the year.